Welcome to Investment and Development. Today our topic is social responsibility from India to the world. For our subject to be developed, we have today with us Mr. Manoj Rai. He's entrepreneur chef from India. And also it's with us Dr. Rajesh Ingle from Stratege. Welcome both to Investment and Development.
Thank you.
So tell us, Manoj, what's your occupation and what has been your career?
Okay, so I'm a chef, and it's been 19 years I've been cooking now. So yeah, this is what I've been doing since I've matured and I graduated from college. So I've just been cooking and cooking.
Interesting. And Dr. Rajesh, what's Stratege and why you are in Guatemala?
It's been 6 years that I have been promoting India in this market, and I realized that the best way of introducing India to Guatemala is through food. And that is how we did Annapurna Food Festival last year. And with the success of last year, we are doing it here this year also. And that's the reason we are doing this. And I realize there's a good potential in this market, and there can be a lot of things that can be done from India to Guatemala and Guatemala to India. That's the reason.
Interesting. But Manoj, tell us what motivated you to become a chef?
So it's a long story, cut into short. Basically, I was into sports. When I was a kid, I was into sports, and then I could not go further in my sports, and I had to choose something. So finally, I saw a course of hotel management. So I went to join this college in Goa, and when I went there, I was a little shy guy. Hardly speaks. So I said, let me become a chef. I'll be in the kitchen. I don't have to face people every day. So I chose to be a chef. But then gradually when I started working, and then it came as like a passion to me. And I realized too many things to do as a chef. It's too big and too much to learn and to experience and to deliver to the guest. And that is the best way. You make people happy.
No, I'm sure of that, no doubt. And where have you been specialized and learned the techniques you apply in the plates that you make?
Well, I say India. I've been blessed to be an Indian because India is a very open market. We got a lot of expert chef in India. So after I came out from college, I being blessed to work with a lot of business chef in India, from Germany, French, Australian guy. And since India is going very good, and we this kind of hotel and restaurant that we have it. We get to see each kind of cuisine, and I work particularly in India with some few chefs where I learned the different cuisine of part of the world. So basically, I learned Mexican in my first job, then I do Spanish, then I do the Italian food, and Indian food just comes as with my blood. So so this is what I've been doing it, and whatever I've learned is in India.
Interesting. Rajesh, why this food festival is done in Guatemala? How the idea was born to do this very interesting initiative?
Well, the idea was to, introduce something new to the people. I mean, people are used to the local food, and I felt that awareness of India, as I said, was very poor. That was the idea. We thought we should introduce India in a different way, and that is how the idea of food festival was born. But I would like to add one thing here. Before food festival, we also did a film festival. So we showed them Bollywood, and with the success of Bollywood, we thought, okay, we can go to the next level and introduce them the food. And here we are in the second year. So I feel proud that Manoj accepted our invitation, and he's here in Guatemala with all of us, all the way from Dubai.
Excellent. We know that our chef here has excellent plates. Food of India is very good, very healthy also, but there's also a social component here in this food festival. What is that that are helping also people through this event you're doing?
Thank you for reminding me this point. The thing that we are doing is we are donating a significant amount of this activity to Miguel Torreviarty and Funcepa. So we did that last year also, and I feel proud that with Funcepa we did one event, and we managed to train some people free of cost in technology, as India is known for technology, and we managed to give them a job also. So it gave a different satisfaction, and that's why we feel good somewhere in our heart. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm telling you that I feel good that I'm doing something good for the country. It's like giving back in a way.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. All that help you're being brought here through this event for a lot of people that have a lot of needs. Also, Chef Manoj, you're a person that is very recognized in the culinary industry. How you're also a mentor. You're showing your techniques to the future and present generations that come, that they would like to have this type of specialization that you have for the food.
Well, I say it's a good question because since when I started my career, I was very young and I reached to a level very fast. In my career, I have trained a lot of young chefs around the world. Currently, I am helping Indian government. There's a program in Indian government called Skill India. So every state is getting kids from the village, small village, and we train them. We send them to different part of the world for the competition. Like last year, September, we have sent 6 guys from India to Singapore for the Olympiad, and these people got 2 silver medal for India. So we've been training people, telling them, and whatever is new. So I basically do a lot of workshops where I teach young chefs, and whatever we carry, we just try to give them back.
Excellent. And what other ways you're helping socially people? What other social responsible activities you're doing to help people also?
Well, basically, I have my own NGO in India. It's called Santa Chef, and I personally believe Santa Chef. Since if you see in the country, there are a lot of part of people who are being very poor. They can't afford to go to school or they can't afford to eat food. So whatever I can help them, we can pick up a location and we cook food for them and we feed them, right? And we motivate them to go to school. And same thing, if you are 19-year-old or 18-year-old and you want to pursue your career into hotel industry, we give them career as well.
Excellent. It's good to see that you're helping present and future generations so they can also have opportunities and they can also develop and be architect of their own future.
Exactly.
And doctor here, what also are the other activities that Strategy is doing here in Guatemala and also in India?
Thanks. What we are doing basically is we are trying to develop the trade between India and Americas actually. And the model that we follow is a simple model. We help the Guatemalan companies connect with the Indian companies. We don't charge any Guatemalan company any kind of fees, but we work as a guarantor for a Guatemalan company that okay, whoever they are paying in India, they get the services directly and I become a guarantor to support the Guatemalan company. This way it works as a Gana or win-win situation for Guatemala as well as for India. What I am very keen to do is get some Indian Guatemalan products in India. That's been a tough task, but I understand cardamom is already being supplied from Guatemala to India. Teak wood is another thing that is already being supplied, but I think coffee, chile coban, and there are various other spices that you have here which can be exported from Guatemala to India. I'm working on that and I'm sure, primero Dios, it will happen very soon. Thank you.
We have no doubt about that. There's a lot of potentials from India to Guatemala and to Guatemala to offer also to India. And in our next segment of the TV program, we're going to talk about it because, there's a lot of opportunities we can develop together between Guatemala and India. We'll come back in a second. We're back to investment and development. Chef Manoj, you're a very recognized person in the food sector around the world. For who you have prepared food and in what countries you have been doing this very interesting service.
Well, so we cook food for everyone, and I think everyone is very, very important for us. But yeah, if you want to know a little bigger people that we recognize in India, I've been cooking a lot for our own star, the Bollywood star like Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, Salman Khan, Amir Khan. Internationally, I have done food for Bill Gates, Bill Clinton's, Tiger Woods. I live in Dubai and cook for a lot of prince who comes to my boss offices. So my job is I'm actually private chef of one of the biggest businessman in Dubai. He's an Indian, and he meets all the top people, and my job is to cook for my boss and for the guest.
Interesting. You're a very recognized person. You're a very famous person in the culinary industry. But what people can do as you are making that role model that you can be successful, but and also help people in this 21st century?
I guess the first thing that you need to be very honest with yourself. You should know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing and you're honest, learn the basics. Try to execute yourself, upgrade your skills time to time. Like I'm almost 40. When I started my career, we had a different machine. Today we had a different machine, and if I don't go and learn things, I won't be there on the league. So what I feel that everyone who's coming and taking this job or a career to become a chef or to become a hotelier, they should be very honest, very hardworking, because this industry needs a lot of hard work, a lot of patience, and uplift your grades. Try to learn as much as you can, because culinary has no limit. There's no limit to learn.
Creativity is the limit at the end. Right?
Exactly.
Interesting. And now, Dr. Rajesh, we see a lot of potential. We spoke in our last segment of what India and Guatemala can do together. But you spoken the part of the technology. There's a lot we can learn from India. With that transfer of technology, what's all that potential that we can bring here in Guatemala to give that service to Guatemala as a hub for Latin America and also for North America?
Well, a very interesting question. I would like to start with technology first. When it comes to technology, most of the Indian companies are doing far shoring, wherein far shoring is a concept where they have the business from India directly to United States or UK. But what can be done is we can go for near shoring by having the services given in Guatemala and servicing to the United States or European market. We already have so many BPOs and call centers in Guatemala which are from India. So that is one part which is a good opportunity. The other is the programming and animation. So all this thing can be taught here, so that the employment can increase in this country and it will lead to the prosperity of the country. So I think these are the basic things that we need to focus upon and take it ahead. And I think the country will prosper, and if it prospers, I think sky is the limit for doing so many other things.
Interesting. Also, Dr. Rajesh, we see that there's a lot of potential with the movie industry. For example, you have Bollywood, and we have to learn a lot of it, but we have a lot of potentials here, a lot of sites that are amazing. We can take advantage of it and make movies. What we can do about it, so we can transfer that experience to Guatemala, so we can do like a Bollywood here for our country.
A good question. I think we just took a baby steps towards that. What we are doing is we are doing some animation program. So where we are going to use the locals of Guatemala with the technicians from India. So because it is technology, we can use Skype and other mediums for connecting. And once that happens, the awareness of Guatemala is created. I would like to also mention, if things work out fine, next year we are going to do a cup, Copa Dosti, as we are going to call it. Dosti means amistad, I mean friendship. So we are going to start Copa Dosti between India, Mexico, Honduras and Guatemala. So that's the country I'm still working on it. But if this happens, the awareness of Guatemala will happen amongst the Indians. And if that happens, even if I'm able to do that, I'm sure the Indians would like to come here and do the shoot. I've been to Peten, I've been to Amatitlan Lake, I've been to Shamuk Champagne. I think these are amazing places. And I was telling Manoj a few days ago that Amatitlan Lake is a place where they say that it is among the top 10 places in the world where you have to go before you die. So that's amazing. So I think there are so many fantastic locations which can be used for shooting. I am also talking with some directors of Guatemala for getting the Guatemalans movie in India. So
interesting.
Yeah, and probably I missed mentioning this. Also, if things work out fine, January 2020, we will be having a reputed chef from Guatemala coming to India.
Excellent.
So if this kind of things happen, the awareness is created. As much as Guatemala does not know about India, India also does not know anything about Guatemala. So even if this thing is little dent is put, I think lots of opportunity will come up.
There's no doubt about it. Also, Chef Manoj, with your perspective, you have been around the world, you have seen a lot of interesting things, but what you have seen in Guatemala, what we have to do to develop our countries, because we have a lot of challenge, but there's a lot of opportunities also.
Well, I will just tell you this experience. When I got a call from Rajesh 8 months back that you have to come to Guatemala to do a food festival, my first question, where is Guatemala? Me. So I did not know where is Guatemala. Now, since I am here and people are following me in India, now gradually they are knowing what is Guatemala. Well, I believe Guatemala is a very beautiful country and has got a lot of potentials. To increase the tourism is the one thing that we can do, and tourism, to increase the tourism, the first thing is the food, is the gastronomical experience. Right? Anybody is traveling to a country, they want to see a good sightseeing, and they want to experience the local food. Well, being as a chef, I just had 2 or 3 dishes of Guatemala, but if we can able to showcase our local cuisine to part of the world, I think the door will open for Guatemala. And once the tourism start coming to Guatemala, we are there.
So you're saying that tourism is one of the keys to develop our countries at the end.
I tell you, being as an Indian, today Indians are going every part of the world for vacations, right? If they get to know about Guatemala, trust me, if they start coming to this country, we'll have lot of tourism coming from India.
With your expertise in the culinary service and food, what is your experience trying Guatemalan food? Do you like it? What do you think about it?
It's very similar to Indian food.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the balance. We eat rice, you eat rice, right? And the food is little spicy, little hot. A lot of spices that have been used, cardamom and kidney beans. We use like dal. You use kidney beans or black beans. So there are a lot of similarity between Indian food and the Guatemala food.
Just to add out here, he just had tapado before coming here, and I think he loved it. The taste was different. The Caribbean kind of food, he enjoyed it.
Excellent. So as we have seen, Guatemala has a lot of potential. A recognized chef here says what we have to do so we can develop more the tourism here in Guatemala and create economic and social development for our country. We're going now to a quick break and we'll come back with investment and development. Welcome back to Investment and Development. Chef Manoj, we see that there's a lot of potential in the tourism and the food industry of Guatemala, the culture, food, but what we can do about it? Because India has a lot of potential and Guatemala has a lot of offer to India also.
Exactly. Well, you have to showcase your culture and food to people around the world, not to India, to around the world. What I'll say, what I have seen, I can go and tell people. But if you can able to make something that is visible to everyone with your local food, your culture, your destination that you have, and just show it to the world. And I guess this is so beautiful that nobody will mind coming to Guatemala.
We have no doubt about that. We have seen also, Dr. Rajesh, that it was done in Guatemala, the event called Make in India. What potential does this bring from new industries to come to Guatemala?
Well, I think there's a fantastic potential. Make in India is already happening in Guatemala. It may not be known, but yes, in textiles, I think we are working with most of the majority of the companies in Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Costa Rica, and Nicaragua, wherein they are making the shirts and the pantalones and the denims in India and are being sold here. So that is one little dent. Technology is there, and I think it is a great initiative of the government with the campaign of Make in India. I think it is taking a shape slowly and steadily, but for sure it is gaining a pace.
Interesting. Manoj, with your experience as chef, what have been your challenges in this specialization and in your NGO, what you have been doing in a NGO called Santa Chef?
Well, in my career, as I said, this is a very, very hard, this is too demanding career. You have to be at it was 17 hours, 18 hours, 19 hours, no time for family. But yeah, that's one of the part. That's the one. And then I think when in India, when we have so much of cuisine to learn, and when you have interested people to serve, you meet people from different countries, different states in India, and just to try to understand their taste buds, it's very difficult for the chef to understand and then to give them a good food and make them satisfied. I won't say it's a challenge, but yeah, it's like something that comes to us, and we keep loving doing the same thing. Coming to my NGO, Center Chef, I basically, how it started, I was on TV. I left my TV show, came back to Delhi, and I always wanted to start something where I can serve to society. So we took this as a Center Chef. The challenges is like, many people, so what, you need some funds from the government, you need some money to support them. But as of now, whatever we are doing from our own pockets, and we are loving it. We don't demand, if I am making a food for anyone right now, we tell that you come as a volunteer. We don't need your money. We need your food. Carry some food or fruit for the kids. Don't give us money. Just feed them, give them some good time, and let's see if we can able to give them some good career in future.
Interesting. That's a very good idea to work out together and help people also. And we see that India has most ancient cultures in the world. What can you talk us about also from the food of India, from the people that hasn't ever seen it before or hasn't tasted it before? What we can expect of food of India?
Well, as you said, rightly said that this is one of the oldest, culture of the world. And as we in India, we hardly know India. Like now I'm a chef, so I did a little research, so I know how many cuisine we have. But it's very untouched thing that we need to learn and we need to understand that. When we talk about the international people like Guatemala, we don't make hot, spicy food all the time. We've been blessed to have the most collection of spices in the world. Be it cardamom, cloves, mace, all the richest spices that we have. We have more than 100 spices in India. And India is so geographical. We have south, we have north, we have west, we have east. Every part has different cuisines, right? So if you go to south, it's totally different food. It's more about coconut, curry, rice. You come to north, it's very heavy in spices and bread, roti, things. So I think when we say spicy food for India, it means we infuse spice to give a good flavor to the food. We don't use only chilies. Right?
That's a myth.
Yeah, Indian food is not about chilies. It's about a lot of, everything. And the best part is cooking food in India is a technique. The kind of utensils are you using, the kind of burner you're using, the kind of, the spices blend are you using, is all technique that we have to learn.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. I think people should try at least once in their time of their life Indian food, because we can say it, we recommend it. It's very good, also very healthy.
Yeah, very healthy.
Yes. And also, Dr. Rajev, we see that India has grown a lot. They have work against poverty. What we can learn from India here in Guatemala. We know that we're different cultures, but we have to learn about what you have done, that success case.
Well, that question requires good amount of time to answer, but I'll try to summarize in a quick way. I think the first thing that has happened is we believed in employing people. I think that has what has removed the security issues in India. So if I have to go in a tuk-tuk with my laptop on, I can freely do it in Mumbai or any part of the country. I think the employment is what has changed the thing. Also, the Make in India event that we are talking about, we believed in Swadeshi movement that we had in our country, which meant that making in India for Indians. So this was the first movement probably which made us grow within the country, and that is how we have our own railways, we have our own automobiles, motorcycles, and everything from India, because the government pushed us to make everything within the country. So all the foreign countries were blocked to come inside the country for a decent period. And after that was done and India felt that they are self-sufficient, we opened the doors for foreign companies. I think that was a critical step which increased employment within the country. And then the technological movement happened where some companies like, I would like to mention Aptech and NIT from India, who really came out with the employability education. One is education, another is employability education. So, like in Guatemala, they say "Bino bonito barato."
Yeah.
So it was exactly like that. So they gave that education, which gave them employment, and that led to prosperity. I think this can be easily replicated.
Thank you very much to both of us for being here in Guatemala and also for the initiatives and helping our people. Thank you very much for being here and show the world your food and also putting our country in the broadcast so they can know about more of Guatemalan people. Thank you very much.
Gracias.
Thank you.